Good morning, dear students. Today we will discuss on the topic solutions. You are already familiar with this topic during your 10+1 and 10+2 classes. So starting from the introduction. First one, how we can define the solution. Solution can be defined as the homogeneous mixture of two or more chemically non-reacting substances, the composition of which is not fixed and may be varied within certain limits. Means the substances are chemically non-reacting and the composition of this solution can be varied within certain limits. Now, how we can define the binary solution? Binary solution means the solution which is composed of two substances. We are having only one solute and one solvent. So solute is what? It is a substance which is present in the smaller amount, and solvent is what? It is a substance which is present in the larger amount. In a binary solution, we are having two substances. Out of these two substances, one will be present in the smaller amount, that will be known as solute, and other one will be present in the larger amount, that will be known as solvent. Now next, we can see in this picture, here we are differentiating solute and solvent. In this picture you can see this chocolate is acting as a solute which is dissolved in the milk, which is acting as a solvent. The smaller amount that is dissolved in a solution, that is of chocolate, so it is behaving like a solute, whereas milk is present in the larger amount, so it is behaving like a solvent. Now there are various types of solutions. As you can see here in this table, we are having different type of solute and solvent. If we are having gas as a solute in a solvent, we can take an example of air. When we are having gas as a solute and liquid as a solvent, in that case we can take the example of oxygen in water. Similarly, there are other examples depending upon the different combination of solute and solvent. When there is liquid in liquid, like alcohol in water, solid in liquid, like salt in water, gas in solid, like the hydrogen gas is absorbed in the catalyst like palladium, liquid in solid, solid in solid. So these are the various types of the solution depending upon the different combinations of solute and solvent. Next, we are having a number of examples for these different type of solutions. First one is the solution of gas in gas. We can take the example of air, a mixture of oxygen, acetylene, which is used for the welding purpose. Similarly, solution of a gas in liquid. We can take the example of carbonated drinks, dissolved oxygen in water. Similarly, we can have the example of solution of gas in solids, where gas is acting as solute and solid is acting as a solvent. In this case, we can take the example of hydrogen absorbed by the palladium. Solution of liquid in gas, we can take the example of mist, fog, clouds. Solution of liquid in liquid, we can take the example of alcohol in water. Solution of liquid in solid, we can take the example of mercury in silver, which is generally known as silver amalgam, butter, cheese. These are the example of solution of liquid in solid. Solution of solid in gas, a very common example, which is the dust particles of smoke present in air. Solution of solid in liquid, we can take the example of sugar in water, paints. Similarly, solution of solid in solvent, we can take the example of various alloys like metal alloys, pearls, opals. Opals are the gemstones, carbon in iron. So these are the various different type of solutions. Now the next one topic is comparison between dissolution and reaction. How we can differentiate that it is a dissolution process or it is a reaction. Here we are taking an example. Here nickel has been dissolved in the hydrogen chloride and we are getting the formation of nickel dichloride and hydrogen. Now, if you will dry the solution by evaporating the solvent, if you're getting the original solute back, in that case the process is a dissolution. But if the substance is not obtained in the original form after evaporating the solvent, in that case we will call it as reaction. If the substance has been reacted, then there will be some change. If it is only dissolved on evaporation, we are getting the same substance in the original form. Now next one is the methods of expressing the concentration of solution. There are various methods we have already gone through in previous classes, like mass percent, molarity, molality, normality, mole fraction. These are the different formulas which we can use to express the concentration in different terms. For example, in mass percent, we can take it as mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 100. Molarity is the moles of solute per liter of the solution. Molality is the moles of solute in 1000 gram of solvent. Normality is the gram equivalents of solute per liter of the solution. Mole fraction is the moles of solute dissolved in total number of moles of the solution. Now later on we will discuss each term in explanation. Next one is one thing here, the difference you can see, the molality is the only concentration unit here in which denominator contains only the solvent information rather than solution. As we are looking through, in each term we are having in denominator the solution, whereas in case of molality there is only solvent. So this is the difference between molality and various other terms involved in the expressing the concentration. Now first one is percentage by mass or weight. How we can define this? This is the amount of solute in grams per 100 gram of solution. So percentage by mass can be taken equal to mass of solute by mass of solution into 100. For example, a 10% weight by weight of aqueous glycerin solution means 10 gram of this glycerin has been dissolved to give 100 gram of the solution. 10 gram of glycerin that is dissolved in the water to make overall 100 gram of the solution, then we are getting 10% weight by weight solution. Next one is percentage by volume. Now for a solid and liquid, it is mass of solute in grams present in 100 ml of solution, whereas for liquid in liquid it is a volume of solute in ml present in 100 ml of the solution. So if you are having solid in liquid, in that case the formula would be mass of solute divided by volume of solutions into 100 ml. Whereas if we are having liquid in liquid, in that case the formula would be volume of solute divided by volume of solution into 100 ml. Now we are taking the example of percentage by volume. When we are having percentage weight by volume, in that case a 10% of weight by volume aqueous sodium chloride solution means 10 gram of sodium chloride dissolved in sufficient water to make overall 100 ml of the solution. And percentage volume by volume, when we are having liquid in liquid, in that case a 10% of volume by volume aqueous ethanolic solution means 10 ml of ethanol that has been dissolved in sufficient water to make overall 100 ml of the solution. Now next is the strength of solution. How we can define the strength of solution? This is the weight of solute in grams dissolved per liter of the solution. In terms of formula, we can write weight of solute in grams divided by volume of solution in liters. Molarity, very common it is. Number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liters, means this is the number of moles of solute present per liter of the solution. Molality, that is the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1000 gram of the solvent, or you can say it is the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kg of the solvent. Normality, this is the number of gram equivalent of solute dissolved volume of solution in liter. Now molarity, that is the number of moles of solute dissolved per liter of the solution. In terms of formula we can express this. And how we can calculate the number of moles? Number of moles is equal to given weight divided by molecular weight of the substance. Now since volume is temperature dependent, so molarity will change with the temperature. There will be effect of temperature on the molarity. Now how we can calculate the molarity of a solution? We can take the example here. The example is if 0.435 gram of KMnO4 is dissolved in enough water to give 250 ml of solution. What is the molarity of potassium permanganate? Now first we will have to calculate the number of moles. Now number of moles are calculated by given weight divided by molecular weight. The given weight is 0.435 gram and molecular weight is 158 gram. So on dividing this, we are getting number of moles of KMnO4. Now once the number of moles are known, we have to relate it to the volume. Here we are having 250 ml of solution and we have to calculate in terms of molarity. So we will take it in liter. So 250 ml will be equivalent to the 0.250 liter. Now molarity is what? It is a number of moles divided by volume of solution in liter. So ultimately we are getting the answer 0.0110 molar KMnO4 solution. Molality, that is the moles of solute divided by 1000 gram of solvent. Because both moles and mass, they do not change with temperature, so molality is also not temperature dependent. So if you will compare with molarity, molarity is temperature dependent, whereas molality is not temperature dependent. Normality, it expresses the number of gram of equivalent of solute dissolved per liter of the solution. So the formula would be number of gram equivalents of solute divided by liter of solution. Solution volume present in liter. Number of gram equivalent of solute, that can be calculated by dividing the given weight by equivalent weight. As in case of number of moles of solute, we have divided the given weight by molecular weight. In this case, number of gram equivalent of solute will be equal to given weight divided by equivalent weight. Mole fraction, number of moles of component divided by total number of moles of all the component, that will give you the mole fraction. Mass fraction, mass of a component divided by total mass of all the components, that will give you the mass fraction. Parts per million, it is defined as the mass or volume of solute present per 10 raised to power 6 gram or 10 raised to power 6 centimeter cube of the solution. So parts per million can be written in the terms of formula equal to mass of A in solution divided by total mass of solution into 10 raised to power 6. Now there is one question. 1 molar aqueous or 1 molar aqueous solution which is more concentrated, how we can explain this? So students, you will have to do this question by yourself. This is assignment for you. These are the various methods of expressing the concentration of solution for today. This is the last slide. In the next lecture, we will continue from the next topic. Thank you.